Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hadith was researched several generations after the passing of the Prophet ﷺ. Many scholars place great importance on the Hadith. I am no scholar, but it seems that it is more important to follow the Quran and the traditions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ more than the Hadith.
Say the second part again.
So it seems it is more important to follow the Quran and the traditions of the Holy Prophet more than the Hadith.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Hadith is the tradition of the Prophet. The Hadith is the tradition of the Prophet. And the tradition of the Prophet is explaining the Quran. Get out of your mind that the Quran and Hadith are two separate things. And Prophet is saying, alayhi wasallam, in his Hujjatul Wada, in his last sermon, two things I leave to this nation if they hold on tightly. They will never go astray. One is the Quran, and the other one is my Sunnah. The Hadith is part of his Sunnah. The Hadith is his Sunnah that is written, text, that people remember and they write down. Now, in Islam, we have to know, not only in Islam, in all religious and spiritual traditions, writing comes second. First is memorizing, putting it in your heart. Okay? Because if you only rely on the paper, on the physical, that may be changed, that may be lost. But if you pass the traditions heart to heart and people are keeping it in their hearts, that can never be lost. Even now, for example, if no one is memorizing Surah Al-Fatiha, and everything in the Surah Al-Fatiha is only in the paper, and if all the papers they are taken away, and somebody rewrites that, we are going to read according to what the paper is writing, isn't it? But no. Fatiha and the Quran has been memorized continuously. So no one can change it. Because even if they take away all the physical Qurans, if they change, instead of saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, they say Subhanallahi Rabbil Alameen. Opening of Fatiha, everyone can say, no, that is not right. Because they put it in their hearts. First, because they put it in their hearts. So, the Hadith, it is what is written. But what is written is because it is for record. The physical record, it is there. But there were hundreds and thousands of people who have memorized that Hadith, or they are already practicing that Hadith. That Sunnah of the Rasulullah alayhi wasallam. So, now, there is no separation. Because what is Prophet alayhi wasallam? That's why those ones, this split also. The Wahhabis saying, no, don't concentrate on Prophet, only Allah. Allah, 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 Allah. Leave the Prophet alayhi wasallam. If you concentrate on the Prophet, you're making shirk. Don't put Allah and Muhammad alayhi wasallam there. You're making it two. Only put Allah. Our kalima is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah alayhi wasallam. It is very clear. Allah, one creator, and his beloved one, his servant, the reason of the creation of everything in existence, for that sake is Habibullah alayhi wasallam. And what is the Prophet ﷺ? He has been described as what? The walking Quran. The walking Quran. His actions, his words. For 23 years, it is to explain the Quran. Quran came to him. He is explaining the Quran. Quran did not come down to the Sahabis for them to make interpretation, like what these foolish Muslims are doing now in this Akhir Zaman. Everyone is taking the Quran, reading the Quran only, making their own interpretation, which there is a hadith, Prophet says, if you interpret the Quran according to your ego, prepare yourself for hellfire. That majority, they're doing that. They're making interpretation of the Quran, not even knowing Arabic. From a translation of Arabic, they make their own interpretation. No, I think it's this. No, I think it's that. And even if you know Arabic, you think Arabic of today is the same as Arabic the most perfect Arabic. Holy Quran is not like the Bible, okay? That is written in very bad Greek. It's called gutter Greek. The Quran is written in the most beautiful, the most eloquent, the most elegant Arabic that even the unbeliever Arabs at that time, just by listening to the Quran, they're saying this has to come from above. They say this is too sublime, this is too superior, this is too beautiful to be a creation of a madman. That's what they're calling Holy Prophet. So what is the fight about? What is the disagreement? Holy Prophet ﷺ, 23 years he was explaining the Quran. He is the walking Quran. They asked, explain the characteristic of the Prophet. And Hazrat Aisha is saying, he is the walking Quran. So, put it back. He is the walking Quran. So, we are concentrating now on the words of Allah, of course. But the words of Allah now, if we are going to concentrate it on the words of Allah by cutting off on a chain that leads to the Prophet, that is connected to the Prophet ﷺ, if we cut ourselves off from that chain, then we're going to be lost. That's what's happening, precisely. The Prophet has said Islam is going to be deviated into 73 different groups. Only one group is safe. The rest, they're going to hellfire. He didn't say all groups are good. He didn't say all groups are in the Siratul Mustaqim. He did not. And those scholars who are coming around to say all groups are on Siratul Mustaqim, then we're saying Lakum dinukum waliyad din. That's not the religion I'm following. Now, these hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ, they were not researched several generations. They weren't researched. Whatever Prophet brought, his Sahabe Kiram, they were holding it tightly. They were giving up their lives for that. Are we understanding? They gave up the lives of their children, their fathers and their mothers for the hadiths, for the traditions, for the love of the Prophet and his lifestyle. They were doing it. They were living it. They were teaching their children and their grandchildren, and that was continuing. When there was a need to compile it physically, yes, that happened several generations, but don't think the compilation of the hadiths, again, people are mixing it up as it is the same with the Bible. You know how strict the ilm, the knowledge of hadith compilation is? Do you know how strict it is for a hadith to be declared sahih? How many hadiths do we know exist? Everyone now, reading a couple of hadiths, they make a fatwa. That is forbidden. A muhaddis has to memorize. Let me give you some figures, just for an example. Okay? They're not exact figures. Just to give you an example. A muhaddis, he has to know with this isnad, its chain of narration, straight to the Prophet ﷺ, and every person in that chain has to be trustworthy. And there are conditions. It cannot be cut off. The muhaddis has to know, say, 1,000,000 hadiths. Hujjatul Islam. Do you know how many hundreds of thousands of hadiths he has to know? He has to memorize with the isnad, with the meaning and everything. That's why in Islam there's only a handful of Hujjatul Islam, but people nowadays, they speak about this Hujjatul Islam, that Allah is praising them because these are the proof of Islam. Like Imam al-Ghazali, radiallahu an, they sing Al-Ghazali. Easy, just like that. By kids, who don't even know how to enter into a toilet. There are so many grades of scholarships, of scholars, of the ilmu hadith. You have to fit. And the very lowest person that he knows, say, 100,000 hadiths, and he has the right just to give advice to his family and to his community, not to go beyond that. Not to give fatwa to the whole world. Nowadays, people read a couple of hadiths, they're giving fatwa to the whole world. This is the disease of Wahhabism. Imam al-Bukhari, one of the most famous compilers of the hadith, that he started to record the hadith and he collected it. That the hadiths were passed down and passed down. They were preserved. It's not lost, so he decided to preserve it. It was already preserved, and he wanted to keep it in a physical form too, because something may happen in the future and Islam is spreading everywhere. You know how people are these days? They read a couple of hadiths in translation and they make up their own minds and they give fatwa to everyone. You know what? Imam al-Bukhari, not to give fatwa, just to arrange one hadith next to another hadith, next to another hadith, to compile his Sahih Bukhari. You know what he had to do just to compile it? He puts it there. He takes a fresh ghusl. Then he goes to sleep. And in his sleep, Prophet ﷺ comes to his dream saying, "Oh my son, put this hadith like this. Next to it is this hadith and this hadith." Then he gets up and he puts it by the order of the Prophet ﷺ. That's why we say the doors of Mujtahid, they are closed. And now, people without a lineage, they're trying to open it. People, they don't even know what their lineage, who their lineage is. They're trying to declare new mazhabs. They're trying to declare new what? Minority fiqh. Huh? So, enough sign. This is Akhir Zaman. This is the Akhir Zaman. So, no need to get yourself involved in this also. Whatever little knowledge that you have, practice that. Assalamu alaikum. Last question. Say.